Okay. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again today for another fun lunch and learn about our program approval changes. I'm going to go ahead and share PowerPoint. All right, can you all see the screen okay? PowerPoint showing up?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk about some of the communications and timeline around the new forms rollout, and also do sort of an overview and demo of the new portal and form submission process. I just want to emphasize that you will receive instructions on how to access the new portal, how to submit the new forms. We're going to have sort of guides and demo videos. So this won't be the only time you will have to see how to do this. I just wanted to provide a brief demo and overview. We're also going to be updating all of our academic program resources, web pages to reflect the new language. This should happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And so we'll send that out as well with the information that you'll receive from us. We do still have the rule implementation website that will be available. It may be modified after we modify all the other pages. And as always, we do have the online form for feedback and questions if you'd like to submit anything that way. So currently, the only online form we have is the planning notification form that is linked in the current document submission portal. That was really not a long-term solution. It was there to get folks used to the forms until the full document submission process was available. So I do have screenshots in my presentation about how to do this, but since we are here live, I would like to just try and do a full demo if I can figure out how to get out of full screen mode. I'm not sure why I can't do that. Sorry, all. I'll just do that. Okay. So this does function through CBPass. Some of you may already have a CBPass account. You may be familiar with it. If you do not, we're going to send you a notification, give you the information on how to create one. It's fairly straightforward. We have done a check on anybody who currently has access to the document submission portal and figured out those that do have a CBPass account and those that don't. So we will be reaching out to you with directions. And so once you have your CBPass account, you will log in. This is what it looks like. Again, if you're familiar with it, this should look very similar. This is in the test environment. So if you have other applications, they will show up here on the left. So this will all happen through the data submission portal. So again, this is in test environment, so the formatting is a little funky, but this is what the homepage will look like. And then you all should have either document submission or form submission up here at the top of the screen. And so you will select submit document. A little slow. And then it brings you to this page. Again, the formatting will be fixed. So it'll tell you which form it is. The description will tell you which types of degrees you can submit with that form. And then you have the fill form. So these two aren't live yet. However, we do have the planning notification linked in here. And so you click on that and it will bring up the form for you. This form is a lot shorter, so I'd actually like to demo for you one of the longer forms that we have. So this is the Public Community and Technical College New Degree and Certificate Request form. So I've filled out a lot of this already, so you all don't have to just watch me fill out fields. But I did want to highlight a couple of things about how these forms work. So once you select your institution, it will automatically populate the FICE code, so you don't have to worry about entering that. Another piece of functionality that we're working on and want to try and get done before we do the full launch is linking up any planning notifications that have been submitted. So this request type is a bachelor's degree at a community college that requires a planning notification to be submitted previously. So the goal here is that based on the institution, you would just have a list of the planning notifications. And this planning notification ID would auto-generate. Now, for those of you that have submitted the planning notification form already, it does have a planning notification ID attached to every request. I would strongly recommend that you keep track of those just in case there's any issues with the dropdown. You can always reach out to us if you have questions or if this isn't working for you. The degree title, we do have a dropdown here. However, there's been some questions on this, so I just wanted to clarify that you can type in a unique name. So let's say I pick agricultural economics and I want to do a management. So you can type that in, or you can select from the dropdown if you don't have a unique degree title. The zip code can select again, or you can type it in. I'm just going to select, I think this is. So once you select the zip code name auto-generates down here. Again, we had a few questions. There were concerns that this would automatically be the degree program title. That's absolutely not the case. You all can pick whatever your title is that you would like. We're just using this as sort of a cross-check for you all and for us as we're reviewing the program. Like, let's say you put in accidentally some strange zip code, and we're looking at agriculture economics, but the zip code is Russian language. That's a flag to us just to check with you all. Let's say you did put in a zip code that doesn't quite seem to match, but it's the one that you want. You can provide a brief rationale here for why you're selecting that zip code. Effective date is just a date field. So this would be when you want to start offering the program. SCH, again, let's say you had 126 credits for your bachelor's degree, you can provide a brief rationale as to why that is over the 120 limit. Another thing that is exciting about this form is for the modality changes, for the off-campus changes, off-campus locations, and the funding. So these are all things that required a separate distance education certification form for a lot of institutions. And so what we've done is integrated that all into this one form. So the way this works is you can select a modality, you can select more than one. If you do select an in-person option, it will prompt you to ask if more than 50% of the program's instruction takes place at an off-campus location. And that's with any combination here, right? So if you have something with an in-person component, it will prompt you to do that, to answer this question. If you select yes, you can put in the name and address of the off-campus locations, and you can add as many as needed. So again, trying to streamline some of this distance ed stuff. So this is the same functionality for the University and HRI forms as well. You can select the funding model. What we're working on, and hopefully we'll keep going, we have a meeting this week to verify everything, is instead of having to collect signatures on forms, you can certify, the person that's submitting certifies that everything is accurate. They certify that they're in compliance with the rules related to the specific type of degree program. And then we also have, again, the certification for distance education, just that you're in compliance with distance education requirements, and not a separate form that has to be submitted. Now, to navigate to the other tabs, you can click next, or you can scroll up here. For required attachments, what will show up is based on the request type. So this is a new bachelor's degree at a community college. It requires a lot of attachments. However, let's say I change this to applied associate. When you go to required attachments, there's nothing there because there are no required attachments for them. So I'll just do this. Contacts and approvals, proposal submitter, that's you, whoever is submitting the form online. This should actually say proposal contact. We will fix that. So maybe this is a department head, a dean, whoever is really in charge of developing the proposal that can answer questions about it. If you want more than one person here, our institutions ask that we have the ability to add others. And then we have required the CAO designee contact, the governing board designee contact, if applicable to your institution. And we're actually going to remove the CFO contact because that was a carryover from a different form. And so what will happen is that both the CAO and the governing board, the proposal submitter and the proposal contact will get a copy of what is submitted through this form. And they will also get a copy of the approval letter. And so again, instead of doing signatures, we're requiring that the submitter certify they've received all of the appropriate approvals for your institution. That could be just the CAO, it could be the CAO and the governing board. What we learned was there's a lot of different ways that institutions collect approvals. And so you just have to certify that everything has been approved as it is required to be, and that if there's an issue, you can provide evidence of those approvals. And then submit. And so when you submit, you'll get this screen. You can download the form, you can print it, you can email it to anybody. And then let me switch back to my PowerPoint. Scroll down here. So that's the full submission process. Again, you get this screen that shows where you can download, print, and email. You'll also get an automated email confirming your submittal. If you don't receive this, we recommend first checking spam filters and things like that, or reach out to us if for some reason you don't submit it. You will also receive a confirmation of being administratively complete, and that date is what starts the 1-year timeline. And then you would also receive an email, as I mentioned, with the approval letter once it is completed through the process. Again, access to this new portal, we're really trying to limit it to people that are currently submitting things on behalf of the institution. I think we will distribute a list of current users that we have. And so if you need to make an update, you can reach out to us. Again, that will all be in the communications that we send out. Depending on how your institution and your system does it, a system level staff member can submit on behalf of the institution. So that is possible as long as they have that CDPass account, which we will work with them to set up if they do not already have that. All right, next steps and rollout timeline. So again, we're waiting on a couple pieces of functionality, taking slightly longer than expected, but I don't think will be any major delay. So in early September, we're hoping to launch the Community College and Technical Forum, Community and Technical College Forum, the one I just showed you, as well as the University and HRI Forum for new bachelor's and master's degrees and the embedded associates. In mid to late September, we're hoping we would be doing the new doctoral and professional form and the degree program and admin unit changes form. If you really need to submit something before these forms are available after September 1st, please just reach out to us and we can figure out if it's best to submit it through the current document submission portal or if there's another way we should document that. So if you can wait, these forms are much easier and faster, but if you really need to submit something by a specific date, please just reach out to me and we can figure out what the best option might be. October and November, as I mentioned, we will have the certificate notification form. I'm also hoping to do another form, right? We know there's things that are submitted right now through the document submission portal that are not necessarily a new degree program or a new certificate. So working on a space for those requests as well. In December, we do have the institutional plan for distance education renewal and approval processes changing, where you would be approved at the institutional level. We are working on a form for that, and we will have more information in the fall about this process. Upcoming Lunch and Learn, September 26th, we do have one already scheduled. We'll do a demo and overview of the new web pages and the resources that are available for you all. And then really a lot of that is designed to be sort of an open Q&A for folks who have gotten into the portal, have submitted things, or are having trouble, so that we can answer questions that others may have as well. Other upcoming Lunch and Learns, we don't have dates for them yet. I would like to do one, just a general one on the embedded associate. We've been receiving some questions about those and working with a couple institutions to put together those proposals. We're also thinking of others that we might do, maybe around transfer. If you have ideas of topics that you'd like our Academic and Health Affairs Division to do a Lunch and Learn on, please feel free to drop it in the chat. And so we will let you know as soon as we know what those dates are. And that's all I have to share. I know I just threw a lot of information at you. Well, yes, so we don't have any current plans to shut down the document submission portal. We will have to probably eventually transition as that portal is aging and it needs more and more maintenance. So we will have to figure out a transition and archive plan, but there are no current plans to turn that off anytime soon. So I see there's a question here about the a box to certify for distance education. So yeah, so that box is required. It just basically says, like, if there are any distance education components, we're in compliance with them. So if it's in person, that doesn't really apply, but it is a required checkbox. Yes, this question on the budget enrollment spreadsheet. So those should just be new costs. The previous, it should just be total costs, because we had this rule that's about to go away where if the new costs were over $2 million, it had to go to the board. And then if it was less than $2 million in new costs, it didn't. So because that rule is going away, it should just be total cost for the program. So for the institution list, we are working on that. I will double check. I know that Emma Shane, who works with our portal a lot, did provide some feedback on what the institution list should look like for some of those community college districts that are really consolidated. So we'll make a note of that and work on that and make sure, to the best of our ability, that that's reflected. Yes, so in the web documentation, there will be Word documents available for you all to download. There will just be less of them. Right now, I think we've got, I don't know, 15 or 20 PDFs and Word documents. And so we're really condensing those into a smaller number of forms, but they will be linked in Word format on the website so that you can download them and send them to somebody at the institution if you're not the one filling those out. Other questions? Any sort of initial reactions from the forms? I know the planning notification was a shorter one. Does this look user-friendly for you all? Any major concerns?
Well, this is me out of Camilo, Texas Southern University. I don't have any major concerns. It's pretty straightforward, just a little practice and working with it. Should be fine.
Okay.
Do we have the ability to have this like a packet to review over a period of time? You might lose some of this if you don't view it or practice it often.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing your question. Could you speak up a little bit?
Sure. Let me see if I can turn the volume up as well. I was asking, do we have like documented packages with the steps that you kind of review so we can review it over a period of time? We might lose what you went over in this, or can we get a copy of the recording and see it being recorded?
So the recording and the PowerPoint slides will be posted. And again, the PowerPoint slides have screenshots of some of the pieces that I showed. We will provide, demo videos for filling out the forms. We'll provide FAQs. So all of that will be launched and on the website or sent via email to those that are doing the submitting. So yes, there'll be hopefully lots of resources for you. And if you're missing something, you can always just reach out to us.
Thank you.
Okay. Mary and Joe, you said, could you go over again the select 1 and select 2? Can you be more specific about that? Was that maybe the planning notification piece? I'm not sure. So Ashley, the bachelor's and master's 50% or more new forms. So there are Word documents linked on the rule implementation website that go over all of the content for all of the forms. The actual online form is being worked on right now, being finalized, so I didn't want to pull it up and do a submission on it. Okay, I'll go over the planning notification in a second. So if you go to the rule implementation website, and I can, if that is linked in the PowerPoint slides, it has a Word document of all of the required fields for the bachelor's and master's degrees. So for Susan, for the doctoral and professional programs, the 50% or more new content bachelor's and master's, and the bachelor's at the community college, those are the ones that we have the most content on. So the majority of those requests will be an attachment forms. But the rest of the proposals are mostly all online. I think for some of them, though, we ask for a copy of the curriculum. So really tried to limit the attachments to the programs that require the most content to be included. Yes, Ashley, go ahead and reach out to me with questions about the bachelor's and master's forms. I didn't want to go through every form in one meeting. Let me see if I can pull up the planning notification question. Let me pull up this link again. So it looks funny right now because the functionality isn't linked yet, and so we're waiting on our IT folks to work on that. Let me share my screen really quickly. Okay, so the way this is we're fingers crossed, we're hoping to get this to work is, so let's say I'm Austin Community College, I've submitted 10 planning notifications for new degree programs. The idea is that you would be able to select from previously submitted planning notifications. And so again, we're just trying to get the database links to feed the form for that, to make sure that the correct planning notifications are showing up. So you would select this, and then the planning notification ID would auto-populate. If for some reason we can't get this to work, then we would just need you all to enter the planning notification ID associated with it. So again, I'm pretty hopeful that this will work, but I do recommend if you're submitting planning notifications, just to make sure you keep track of those planning notification IDs. And again, we may have to follow up if there's a question about what's in the planning notification versus what's being submitted. Does that help answer your question? I'm trying to remember. Mary Jo, is that helpful? Okay, great. All right. Any other questions? Again, we'll have time in September for you to come back once you've kind of gotten in there and started submitting things or looking around. We can do lots of Q&A then. We are planning to do demo videos for how to submit the forms. So I'm hoping we'll provide you with enough resources, but again, if there's something that's still unclear, please go ahead and reach out to me, or you can submit it through the contact form. Anything else before we wrap up? Okay. Well, I hope this was helpful. We're really committed to working with you all. We know this is a big transition for everybody. And so looking forward to getting this going. We've done some testing with our institutions and internally with our staff, and I do think once we get everybody set up, this really will help streamline and expedite things. So reach out with any questions. Otherwise, I will see you in September if you're able to participate. Thanks, everybody.